Hey y'all, this is the second video of Unit 1 Basic Geometry. We're going to talk today about segment addition. So in the last video we talked about segments and we also talked about postulates. And we have a new postulate called the segment addition postulate. So again, this is something that we can accept to be true because it's a postulate. So the segment addition postulate says that if 3 points A, B, and C are collinear, remember that means all on the same line, and B is between A and C, like in the figure below, then we can add the length of AB plus the length of BC, and it should equal the length of AC. Now notice here I don't put the line above AB. This would read segment AB. If I get rid of the line like I've written it, it means the length of AB. So this is read, the length of AB plus the length of BC equals the length of AC. So here's where we're going to pause the video, see if you can find out how long PR is, and then listen for the answer. So the first thing I'm going to do when I'm trying to answer a question like this is label my picture with the information I know. This over here tells me that the length of PQ is equal to 7, so I'm going to label that. I'll put the 7 in between P and Q. That shows me that PQ is 7. I also know that the length of QR is 10, so I can label that. I'm looking to see how long PR is, so I'm going to label it with a question mark. You can use X, like from algebra, and these two rays show me that I'm looking for the length of P to R. So now I can set up an equation using the segment addition postulate to help me find PR. And I know that the length of PQ plus the length of QR, the two smaller segments, should add up to be the length of the big segment PR. So I can write that equation and then I can fill in what I know. PQ is 7, QR is 10, and some simple arithmetic gives me that PR is 17. And you should always circle your answer, or box, or highlight. Again, we have another example. This adds a little algebra into it. Please pause the video and try the example on your own. Just like in the last one, I'm going to label this picture with what I know. I know the length of PQ. I'll remind you that PQ without the line over top means length of PQ. The length is 7x plus 15. The length of QR is 4x plus 6. And we know also that the length of PR is 120. So here we know all the lengths. And we want to know what PQ is once we figure out X. So the first thing we're going to do after we label this is find X. So again, we'll write an equation using the segment addition postulate. The length of PQ plus the length of QR is equal to the length of PR. Very similar to the last question. And we'll just plug in what we know. We can simplify the left side, combining like terms, and solve this two-step equation for X. We get that X equals 9. Now remember, the question didn't ask for the value of X, it asked for how long PQ was, so we have a little more work to do. We need to figure out how long PQ is by plugging X in. So if PQ is 7x plus 15, we can plug in 9 for X, and we can find that PQ is equal to 78. And again, I will circle my answer. Okay, on the quiz, if you asked this question and you found just X, you would get partial credit, but you wouldn't be completely right because we are looking for the length of PQ. We have one more piece of vocabulary for this lesson. We're talking about congruent segments, and these are two segments that have the same length. A couple important things to know about the word congruent. If I say that AB is congruent to CD, I can show that by putting a little slash through each of those lines. These two red lines mean that AB is congruent to CD. I can also write this symbolically. Segment AB, this is a segment again because I have the line over top, is congruent to segment CD. So this symbol here means congruent. It's an equal sign with a little squiggly over the top. So pause the video, try this example on your own, and see if you can find what the length of SU is. So just like in the previous examples, we're going to label our picture. ST is 6x minus 7. TU is 5x plus 1. And we're looking for the length of the entire segment. These two lines right there mean that ST is congruent to TU, which means that both of these segments are equal in length. So I can set up an equation that shows that ST is equal to TU, and this will allow me to solve for x. I'll plug in what I know, do some algebra, and find out that x is equal to 8. Just like in the last example, I'm not looking for x, I'm looking for the length of SU, so I still have some more work to do. I know that ST is 6x minus 7, and I know that x is 8, so I can plug in and find the length of ST to be 41. And I know, since ST is congruent to TU, that they're going to be the same length, so TU is also 41. Now I know that ST plus TU is equal to SU, so I can just plug in 41 for both and find that SU is 82. Again, circling my answer. This is important to do on a test or a quiz so I know exactly what you're telling me is the correct answer. Please do these 3 questions on a separate sheet of paper. Make sure your name's on top. Make sure you can hand it in to me, and your notes are not on the same paper. Again, these are not graded, so do the best you can.